wanting to both eat a fish and
No,
sit on a dick.
I feel like I heard you, but those two things are not necessarily
in the same scale.
Hello and fucking blah 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 blah. Hello, I'm Ben. Welcome to Quarterlife, Quandary podcast. We're chatting about life, relationships, events, experiences, and anything between. Joined with Katie and Aaron, and this are Quarterlife, Quandary.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all?
Somewhere off in the distance there is Aaron. Grand.
Good.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
But yet
Really
so
long.
far.
It's not actually been that long, but it is long.
Has it not?
What?
When was the last one?
Like a month ago.
Oh.
Like over a month.
I remember when these were supposed to be weekly. Such fun.
I've been a busy boy.
Haven't we all? What's everyone been up to?
Holiday, download, work, stressing.
That does take up a lot of time.
Yeah. Thinking of the downfall of man takes a lot of my time.
The meaning of life.
I've just accepted that the downfall of man is inevitable. It doesn't really need much thought anymore. I'm just gonna sit back and wait for it to happen. I want to be taken off guard by it. What have you been up to, Aaron?
I am currently what have I been up to? I mean, stuff. filler stuff in life. Nothing too over the top. I'm trying to actually think.
Left the country in the last month?
I am going to be leaving the country on Thursday. So yeah. Yep.
That's very exciting. I'm going to be returning to the country on
Thursday. I shall be seeing those chili apes on the Friday, Arctic monkeys, and then not coming back for another week after that.
Nice.
So, what about yourself?
I've been working, going to work-related social events that feel like a con because they're on a Thursday and have a free bar. When the next day is a working day, seems wildly unfair. Again, going out of the country. I don't feel like it's doxing myself to say where I'm going.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
All of our 2 followers will follow you there.
I'm going to Slovakia on Wednesday. Because I'm turning 30 and apparently I want to do it in Bratislava. Yeah. Other than that, I've got a whole bunch on. Been to a couple of gigs, tried to find out where the work-life balance lies, because it seems like every time I try to maintain any kind of social life in this stage of life that I just tank it at work. And any time that I'm really just fucking excelling at work, I just forget I have people in my life. Very hard balance to find.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah, it is literally.
So I'm just like a hermit for
an analogy of just juggling plates, except for the plates are on fire.
Yeah. Like, I'll be a hermit for a couple of months and get like a reasonably good reputation at work for not being a shitbag. And then I'll be like, do you know what? I have a life outside of this. Try and maintain and repair like 2 months of social abandonment. And then get like a phone call from my boss when I'm working from home micromanaging me, like, you're not really on top of your game today. I'm like, no, I'm not. Leave me alone. I'll be fine for the next 2 months. Just give me a weekend. It's kind of how I'm balancing it right now.
It sounds like great balance.
Oi. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry.
Oh no, I tend not to. Like, even me on a bad day is kind of like, so I work with people that were not raised on technology. So if needs be, I can smash out like their day's work in about an hour and a half.
course.
and then just die and be sad for the rest of the day.
There needs to be a way of you do all your hours work, and then it just trickles into the system over the course of 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like a program.
As long as I'm like regularly answering the phone and just like dipping into orders, like I will sort of do like these people are doing. So I did 87 orders today because on Friday I did 4 because I was hanging out my arsehole because of the whole work party being on a school night thing. So my monthly stats will balance out. But like of a day, my colleagues will do 20, maybe 30 orders. And 100% could do that in about an hour and a half if I really put my mind to it. So I'll just like dip in every hour or so in between answering calls and be like, there's a couple of orders. I'm just going to go and lie down for a bit because I'm not feeling great.
I wish I could do that at work.
It's probably going to get me fired, but we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Nah, you'll be alright.
Mm.
You just got to have a little timer setting off.
Oh yeah, I have because I don't have a mouse jiggler because I would get entirely too lazy if I had a mouse jiggler and very complacent about actually doing the work. So I think it takes about 25 minutes for my away status to ping over from online to away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I will just like hit that stopwatch for like 20 minutes and be like, right, order time. It's great. It's great. And this is, to be fair, this is on a very rare occasion when I'm just not at my best. Most of the time I'm a normal human being, but yeah, that's kind of how I finessed the bad days.
That's how you should be doing every day.
I just can't bring myself to do it. Like you said, do you remember that one time that you came on that extra outside of work with me, and you were like, "Oh shit, you actually do work. You're not a child when you're meant to be working," and you were genuinely taken aback. Like I can't be a dick at work to like a certain extent. I don't know. And I wasn't even raised right. Like this work ethic was not driven into me. I'm scared of confrontation, so I just refuse to acknowledge anything that will bring me into a confrontation.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Mm.
I mean, give it a few years, you won't care.
I care less and less as time goes on, but I'm not quite complacent enough to bring my half-assed effort to the table every day.
I find that you'll get to a certain level and then you just don't care anymore. You're like, I could just get a job anywhere. Doesn't matter.
Like I'm at the point of my work where like I have it in me to do more, and I also want to act my wage, but like I'm currently at the point where I don't want to set myself a standard. Like I have the ability to do great, but I will do acceptably because I don't want them to know that I can do great because that will become the standard. Like
it's not a great every day.
Yeah, I don't want to set the standard too high so that I have to constantly achieve it because it's not really how I want to live. How's your work going?
Yeah, mine's fine. I mean, they've literally so we've done all the work, and then they've come to us right at the end and gone, well, we need to test it all now. Can you do it in like a week? I was like, definitely not. And he was like, how long do you think it's going to take? I was like, 4 weeks. He's like, well, I need it done in 2. And I was like, well, I'm telling you it's 4. And yeah, so we're on 2nd week now, and I'm just like, yeah, this is going to just take as long as it takes, really.
I love it when people that hire people just have no idea what they do.
Literally, I was explaining like all the problems, and it was like, well, that sounds like a lot of stuff. I was like, yep. Do you actually have anyone in house that deals with this stuff? He's like, yep. And I was like, well, give me his number, and I'll just talk to him. So that's what I've been doing.
You must get stuff like that a lot as well, Aaron.
All the time. Literally all the time. I'd say in the last month or so, I have also realised that I can be productive, but also be lazy as fuck. So,
You can kind of get away with being lazy in your job because you're like ridiculously fucking good at it. You've been doing it for so long that you could do it with your eyes closed.
I can do more work than other people and still spend probably a good 3 hours of my day playing Zelda at work.
Literally that. same as that. Like, I've been doing my job in a different font for the best part of my adult life. Like, my last job, my current job are basically the same thing with a different product. And I've definitely finessed how to do as little as possible with the best outcome.
I definitely don't see the point in working to other people's standards because it just never attains.
Or like
Guy,
the whole I
the
was saying, Aaron and his partner the other day were saying that what is it? Oh yeah, like you'd be replaced so quickly if you died. And I was like, that's not just a fun little metaphor. That literally happened last year at my workplace. One of my work colleagues just went home one day after work and just didn't come back the next day because they died. And it was like, oh, rest in peace. We'll let you know when the funeral is. And they just never spoke about her again.
oh yeah,
And she was replaced within the month.
I've seen that happen to CEOs,
Yeah.
like quite high up managers and stuff, and it's just like takes a bit longer, but they're just gone. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see the point in doing it.
Gen Z have got the whole like actual wage thing spot on because like if you're doing the bare minimum and staying afloat, they can't fire you. They need a really good reason.
Oh, I've seen it like work firsthand with a boomer guy.
Yeah.
He was like he did so many things that could have got him fired, but because they weren't all like he got a warning, and on his third warning they brought him in for a disciplinary, and then he had the HR woman all tied up saying like, well, these aren't even in the same category. That one was this. I'll give you a doctor's note for that, so that doesn't count. And he brought in like a union guy as well, and it was just absolute chaos.
Yes. We had someone at work tell basically in a whole team meeting with every member present, just stood up and basically told everyone to leave their mental health at home
Oh, wow.
and said stuff like bipolar isn't an excuse, but having bipolar isn't an excuse to cry in the office about every little thing. We're encouraging a an office full of crybabies, and she ain't gonna get fired because she's really good at her job. Like she's here for good. She's staying.
She sounds like a narcissist. Maybe you should tell her.
Oh, she. I don't know how much I can say about her. I don't. Do you know what? I doubt anyone from my place of employment is ever gonna
They're always
listen
listening.
to this. But like, she's done some fucked up shit, dude, and she still works there. So, like, workplaces are crazy and clicky and horrible. And this this is genuinely one of the best workplaces I have had for that stuff not happening, and it's still pretty bad.
Oh, it happens everywhere.
Like, there's infidelity, there's just so much going on, and it's such small fry shit compared to my last place of work. Offices are wild,
They
like
really are.
old people wild, but wild.
There's so much unnecessary emotional drama.
Honestly, and I think it's just because you spend like, firstly, sitting in front of a screen doing repetitive shit from 9 to 5 is enough to drive anyone to the point of snapping. But then when you combine that with sitting next to complete strangers for that entire time that you genuinely would not know outside of work if you had the option to meet them organically, like you would just not click with them. So you're forced into, and especially when you're forced into doing like birthday celebrations for these people. You're encouraged to go to social events with these people that you don't necessarily dislike, but you wouldn't choose. And it just drives people to snap at each other and just chaos to ensue. Offices are awful. They're toxic, horrible places.
And that's why I don't ever want to work in one.
Yeah, unless you had to, just yeah, stay the fuck away. They're like little cesspits of chaos and drama that you can't get away from as well. Like in my adult life, at many points now, I've been like, "This is not for me. You're a lot. Um, I'm gonna just not be friends with you." You can't do that at work. You just have to still see them. Like, you know how awkward it is to completely have a row with someone across the office, or like have any kind of altercation with someone, then come in the next day and be like, "Morning."
Yep, I do know that.
So bizarre.
You have to use the office speak, like when you're calling
Regards.
like when you're calling someone dick. Like, as per my previous email.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, you don't get that pleasure when you're like sitting directly opposite or next to someone. Like the person that I have not gotten along with, which I learned was not unique to me. She's had falling outs with everyone. Um, so like probably more than likely a her problem. I still have to go to her daily because she's in a she's in the same department, but she's doing a different thing, and I need to speak to her and ask her permission for like to do certain things because it's her system. So like after this big bust up, I had to be like, "Hey, can you bring back this order? I need to amend it." Awkward, horrible, hate it. And if you don't do
Nah.
it, you're unprofessional. Like it's awful.
Just stare just slightly above her eyes.
To be fair, she's very small.
No, just that's you don't ever look her in the eye. Just look slightly at her eyebrows, and it will give her a weird feeling.
Oh, she's not got any.
She
Yeah, no,
does.
I don't think she has a soul. I don't think that technique would work on her.
Is she ginger?
No,
Oh,
no. Well, kind of.
well, see.
But I just genuinely don't think she has a soul at all. I don't think any of these mind games would work on her because I'm pretty sure she doesn't have any capacity to think.
I hate that. Almost
Mm-hmm.
untouchable.
Yeah, she is super untouchable because she's just absolutely dense. She will not if you were to insult her, she'd somehow find a way to take it as a
She's
compliment.
definitely
It's
producing
it's awful.
the delta wave.
She's just awful.
So, do we have a good topic that anyone wants to start with?
I have more of a question and
Okay.
something that ended up being like a shower thought. Um, fucking maps.
Maps.
Yeah, like maps happened, like physical paper maps of the world were a thing before satellites and the ability to, see them from a bird's eye view.
Mhm.
Yes.
How did they maps? Because they're kind of accurate, and I know it was to do with like spacing and fucking string or something. I don't know how they did it, but like they made very accurate maps.
Uh,
They really did just like draw maps, and then they got satellites and went, "Oh yeah, their maps are pretty good."
You heard of ordnance points?
Yeah, but I don't understand them, and it's making my brain hurt a little.
I'm probably not the best person to describe how they work, but they're generally at like the tallest points, and they're just visible to each other, so you can triangulate positions, and then from them 3 points, you can then like trigonometry work out like the distances between them. And people just used to walk around, making maps and
This is
gradients and stuff.
is that is that just me that finds that absolutely insane?
Um, what was it called?
yeah, cartographer.
Cartography.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Ordnance Survey's originally maps were made by triangulation. Yep. For a second survey, the process was used again, resulting in building of many triangular pillars, trig points. That was
Like
it.
trigonometry and stuff like that, using it to calculate the points.
But
That's
yeah,
just
it's.
shocking to me.
But then, have you not seen the old pictures of maps?
I want to say yes, but I feel like you're gonna.
There is a lot of fucked up maps which look nothing like what they do today.
Hmm.
You can.
Is this kind of why these old maps that were kind of adapted, I guess, by later map makers, cartographists, whatever? Um, is this why we have such screwy proportions in maps?
The reason you got such screwed proportions in maps are to do with the lines around the center. Obviously, because it's a spear, and then you're trying to lay that down onto a flat surface.
But
And
even that doesn't make sense because there's no rhyme or reason to the scale.
there is, because if you get a triangle and there's a measurement, it's like a triangle with a ruler in the center and another one. You can use that to map out where you've been in comparison to the north gradient. So that way you can, when you were going across seas on a voyage, you could use that to plot out where you were going.
Okay, yeah, no, but see, wouldn't that just make things just no. My brain hurts.
No, because the squares on the center of the map are bigger than the ones at the top. So that's meant to allow for the size difference. Although the countries are the wrong
I thought
size.
it was to do with sailors back in the
Yeah,
day.
that's
Is
it.
that
Yeah.
okay?
Like, because you could measure the map and triangulate your position that way. So
Because
this,
like the UK is huge
yeah, and so is
for
Greenland,
no
and
reason. Yeah,
Africa is tiny.
Africa's so small.
There's a really good map online. It's interactive, and you
I've
can
seen this.
drag
Yeah.
the countries around to see the true size.
Hmm. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but it is very fun.
There's a woman who speaks. She's got a true size map, and it shows you the true sizes of the countries, and it looks completely weird, but
I kind of want one
it's interesting.
because I feel like a lot of people don't know that those aren't the sizes. Also, the website's called True Size, the truesize.com. If anyone wanted to have a little play with that, because it is very fun.
Yeah, I'm sure I've definitely seen like a poster. It's like true size world map or something like that.
Oh, I'm straight up going to buy one almost immediately.
It's not coming up, but yeah, there's definitely some out there.
Is it Orthograph?
I can't remember.
Made by Japanese architect whose name I will not pronounce because I will absolutely butcher it. Is considered the most accurate projection of in the mapping world for its way of showing relative areas of land masses and oceans with very little distortion in shapes.
It's called like proportionally accurate world map is what
Yeah,
you normally type in.
that was my one shower thought. It's just been boggling my mind for a little while, along with the whole like mirror thing, which I'm pretty sure I talked about last podcast. That's still bothering me.
What was the mirror thing again?
Like why you can see behind things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's just again, triangles.
I don't
Anything can
like
be answered with
math.
a triangle. It's
I
that
hate that.
easy.
I hate that.
Well, I think it's good because everything can be answered with maths.
No, maths is fantastic, and I think it's kind of cool because it's the same in every language and all that fun stuff. But I'm bad at it. Like I'm dead ass bad at it. I have to like do credit notes and invoices at work, and it hurts my brain like a lot
But why?
because
The
the,
numbers
the
is all.
numbers, the numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
But you're not using an abacus. You've got a calculator. It's easy peasy.
But I get all turned around. Like I don't know. I just doubt myself as to what number I've just put in and if I've put in the right numbers, and I have to double triple check it, and then it gets all convoluted and I can't trust the answer regardless of how many times I get the same one. I'm bad at it.
Yeah, I get that when I've done like a super spreadsheet and it's like chunked out. Like you need like 40 odd links of this and 80 links of that, and I'm like,
Mm,
I could easily have misplaced a one somewhere.
yeah, I hate it. I hate maths.
I love
I'm
maths.
buying this map, or at least saving a picture of this map.
To never look at again. So I thought because you're almost at this golden age,
Oh.
I'd look up the things that happen when you're 30. So your metabolism's going to slow down,
Oh, that because that's exactly what I fucking need. Great.
and your sex
Yeah,
drive's going to
yeah.
increase.
Mm.
You're going to get
Mm.
grey hairs downstairs.
If they get a fucking chance.
Your fertility will drop off
Woo!
quite a lot from the age
Woohoo!
of. Yeah, apparently it starts to speed up, and then by 35 it really ramps up.
I'm
But yeah,
happy with that.
Your
I could
periods
do
are going to
without
get
the
all messed up.
metabolism. No, they're not, because my one's been fake for the last decade.
Okay. Some people can get menopause as early as 30.
Okay.
You're going to get a weak bladder. You're going to wee yourself all the time. And yeah, happy birthday.
You're a piece of shit.
Happy birthday to you.
I could do without the metabolism thing, honestly.
I would say you get emotionally and mentally better at 30.
Yeah, I'm better at things like that already.
There you go.
But I've always been slow to not like I've been a child for longer than most. Um, but I finally feel like an adult despite circumstances.
Well, what circumstances?
Like having to live in the certain living conditions that I'm in to be able to afford a mortgage, because do you know what? It's not even the saving for a mortgage, like for the deposit now. It's the wages.
I don't think that makes you any less of an adult.
No.
I
It's not
don't
like
think you should
I'm
let that bother
not
you.
paying board, But it does like make you feel a certain type of way though. But then you hear how many other folks the same age are doing it, and it feels less shitty.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't worry about it. It's the new thing. It's fashionable.
It's god awful. Why is this map £108? I'm not buying this map.
Well, that's what you got to pay to get proportionally accurate maps. That's just what they cost.
Awful.
Aaron, lay me down with one of your amazing topics.
I was just thinking of something and it has already gone out of my head. But in the meantime, whilst I try and recuperate those thoughts, I have a joke for you, Ben.
Fuck's sake.
See, there we
It's good.
fucking go.
Is it?
Yeah, it's one of his better ones,
So
honestly.
I know
Okay.
you're particularly fond of the fish.
You like fish, Ben?
Okay, well,
Not really.
You did that thing where you kept fish one time.
yeah. Okay,
I've got fish in a pond. I don't like them.
What kind of fish?
Oh.
Carp,
What kind of carp?
goldfish.
Did you know that koi normally travel in packs of 4? Okay, so
No.
basically, if koi A, B, and C were to get like attacked, they could just like swim away and leaving behind koi D. I suppose you could call it
Oh,
a decoy.
sake.
Okay, I'm mad that I laughed twice at it, but it's better. It's better than the usual ones. You've got to give him
It
that.
is much better than usual ones. I did clock it a little bit in.
Oh.
But you are correct. Fish do swim in schools. Right, I've got one for you.
Okay.
So you've heard of the saying you can't have your cake and eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that does.
Stupid, but...
You know, in other languages, they have the same sort of saying that convey a similar idiom.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yes. So in Albania, it is to take a swim and not get wet.
Huh. Which makes more sense than our one.
We've got our Armenian. Have the wool fall and the sheep in place. Or two good things do not happen together.
What's the Portuguese one with the chicken?
Let's have a look. See if we
It
can see
was
it.
I don't know if it was like the same vibe, but all I can think of is reading that poster in that restaurant.
The one I've got here isn't. It's wanting the sun to shine on the threshing floor while it rains on the turnip field. That's a Portuguese one.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking of. But no, that's not it. I just saw it on the wall of a restaurant, and I had to ask what the hell it meant. and I was many years turning
Yes, it was some.
chickens, which just means like experienced and knowledgeable. Just many years turning
I
chickens.
mean, the Portuguese have a lot of. I can't even call them weird. They're just sayings that, yeah, are very strange.
Don't make sense in our culture,
Yeah,
I
a
guess.
little
Yeah.
bit. As I say, my partner's friend, he was telling me some like weird ones. He was like, "Oh, we got some really weird sayings." He goes, "When we translate them, or like even literally translate them, they just sound very very odd." Like they have a saying for like to go and have sex or something, or yeah, I'm gonna go have sex. It's like, oh, I'm gonna drown the goose.
There's one that's like swallow frogs, which just means to accept unpleasant things.
So I've got Macedonian, which is still on the same vibe. You want to be fucked, but don't want it
Did you
inside
say
you.
Do you mean Macedonian? Macedonian. I
No,
thought that was a nut.
Macedonian. Hey, Macarena.
Elbow ache means to envy. Release the chicken means having a lot of fun.
So it's always with the chickens.
Oh, she actually did tell me one that was go with the pigs, which means just to die.
I've got the Russian one here. Wanting to both eat a fish and sit on a dick.
Excuse me?
Wanting to both eat a fish and
No,
sit on a dick.
I feel like I heard you, but those two things are not necessarily
In the same scale.
what? Yeah.
There's a. I don't even know what language this is. Desire to have both the mustache
Okay,
and
that's
drink
pretty
the
cool.
porridge.
Yeah. Ours is so lame. Like ours is really lame.
The Japanese one is good. Go back there. If you chase two rabbits at the same time, you'll catch neither.
What if they're running in the same direction?
Depends if you
At
got
the same speed?
have you got a big stick.
Yeah. Or a net. Or just a big hole on
I
the
think you're both being
direction
quite
they're running
silly.
in.
Yeah, a gun.
Or gun.
So yeah, there's plenty. There's loads of them. I'm not going to read all of them out. It's not that kind of podcast.
I'm kind of just looking at the origins of phrases now, and I've just read. I'm not sure if this is at all accurate, but to butter someone up apparently was a religious act in ancient India where the devout would throw butterballs at statues of their gods to seek a favor and forgiveness. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
There's so many
love a
idioms.
good idiom.
Mm,
Trying to think if any of these are weird. Balls to the wall. It's not like I've heard it before, but it is just a weird one.
yeah.
Beating a dead horse.
It's not
What?
an idiom, but it's what I say when I'm in traffic, saying that like, and if someone's trying to like push in, just saying that you're gonna like stay sack to crack with the car in front of you.
Yeah, that's like testicles to your butt.
Mm.
Why is the bee's knees something good?
Bees knees are great. Haven't you seen them?
I disagree.
Would it
I
be
hate
something
bees.
to do with like the pollen sticking to their legs? Because that's how they collect it, isn't it?
Mm. Oh, there's no real weird ones jumping at me.
Hmm.
I tried to Google the bees knees thing, and like the second search is do bees knees attract bees? Google searches are unhinged. Oh, Reddit's back, if anyone cared about that.
It was always there.
It fucking absolutely wasn't. Like every subreddit I was a part of was partaking in the shutdown, which kind of made Google useless because the only way to get anything useful out of a Google search is to follow it with Reddit. Like, how do I do this thing? Reddit. And you'll get people that actually kind of have a good answer. But if you
Yeah.
tried to do that during the shutdown, like during the blackout, just useless.
What's this?
Absolutely useless.
Yeah, what's this all about?
Have you?
So you know how Reddit's standalone app is
Um,
awful?
okay, yep.
Yes.
They it was like an API thing that they were like charging people to host Reddit on a third party app, as far as I understand it, and people were getting kind of mad about it. So everyone decided to all the Reddit mods made their um things private, so no one could see them whether you followed it or not. So the whole of Reddit, well, a lot of Reddit, like thousands and thousands of subreddits, just went dark. And it was meant to be for 2 days, and Reddit didn't care, so they just kept doing it.
Yeah, they were just re-hosting them up, weren't they?
Yeah. And a very similar thing has happened with Twitter. So you can't embed tweets anymore, and unless you're logged into the app to see them. So like anything that quotes a tweet outside of Twitter will be broken going forward.
I watched a TikTok about that, and apparently it was because they'd been using Google as a cloud host, and it ran out in June, end of June, and he hasn't paid his bill or migrated his services.
Mm,
So to limit the cost per click, they turned off all the external viewable Twitter. So if you're not signed in, you couldn't see it,
yep.
and obviously that killed all of the embedded.
Embedded. Yeah.
And then every time someone went to look at it and refreshed it, it created a denial of service.
There's also apparently a 600 tweet limit, and that's not just like interacting with tweets, it's scrolling past tweets. So you can scroll past 600 tweets a day, and then you cut off, apparently.
I don't use it enough.
I only use it to find out if other platforms are broken.
I've purely used it for the podcast or to complain or to do what you said, which is find the latest news really quick.
Yeah, like, oh, my Virgin Media is not working. Let me just check Twitter to see if everyone else is having a problem. Oh, okay, I don't need to reboot it. Fantastic.
You can just wait for a while.
Yeah, that's all I use it for. I never got into Twitter. Everyone sort of my age has a bit of a hard on for it, and I don't really understand why.
I just find like you're shouting into the void
Yeah,
and no one's talking back to
One
me.
of
I
our
don't like it.
mutual
yeah.
friends um, has a Twitter. It hasn't been active in, I'd say, probably a good 13
Oh,
years.
I know. Yeah,
And it is pretty much like a,
yeah.
what's it
It's
called?
gold.
It's a time capsule. Yeah, it's a time
Time
capsule
capsule.
of him back then. And
You know when you see posts from 10 years ago on Facebook when your memories come up and you're like, shit, I'm
oh no,
changing that to
deleted.
viewable to
Yeah,
only
same.
me.
No, I just delete it.
It's like it's a catalogue of those.
I feel like you need to drop the name in the thing so I can have a look.
I can't even remember what the name is on like that, but I will message it in here.
In here,
In the no, in the group chat.
just gonna whisper it softly. It's his name. Oh, I just don't know what group chat we're using now. We've got so many. What's going on?
I've gone to Messenger.
I have got them somewhere.
I need to find it. Oh, I think I vaguely remember the name. I think it might be the
Um,
surname.
wasn't it like
Found it. No. Oh god, it's worse than I imagined. Well, the age here is listed as
don't he
18,
says stuff
so
about like I've got many hidden talents and you'll have to find them out and all this other it's really really cheesy and really cringy at the same time.
I can't remember. Did I tell you that I found out I still had a face party account?
Face pie.
no.
Me and my wife were like talking about old social medias, and I was like, "Oh my god, do you remember Face Party?" And we looked it up, and it's still active, and my account was still on there. And it was literally like you just said. It was something like, "You can find out what I'm packing later." I was like, "This is so cringe."
Oh yeah, God. Yeah.
I have more. You don't
Oh.
even need to go to it. Oh.
I was about
Oh
to
my!
say it's the one from the 31st of March, but no, they're all from 31st of March.
They're all from the 31st of
Oh,
March. I literally only had to type in the first 4 letters of the surname, and it
I'm
came
fairly
straight
sure as well. I
up.
don't think it was actually him. I think it was one of my other old friends who was sort of trolling him.
Ah, that tracks. But he did it
Oh
well
yeah,
because it
it's got
reads
all the
like
same
him.
spelling mistakes. But then again, they both were on the same kind of mental wavelength.
Oh, he has 7 followers, and I'm one of them. Awkward. Oh no, no, that's who he's following. Oh god, one of them is Charlie Sheen. Jesus. Charlie Sheen, Snoop Dogg. What the?
Come on, we know that's exactly
What's wrong with that?
who
Sounds
Is
like
it?
his target audience is.
Jeez.
I cannot see him at all on this.
Oh, I do follow him. I'm one of 4 followers. That's worse. That's everything I've screenshotted is the whole thing. There wasn't actually that many.
Oh, I found him.
Yeah.
Just as you said it.
Replies. Oh god, it's got every cringy message that was ever sent to a girl on here. There's just an at person oi oi sexy. This is great.
It's the tee hee.
Tee hee. We're
Dear
mean.
diary, sort life out
Well, you know.
fast.
Mood apathetic. Oh, that was fun. That was not podcast worthy,
Totally
but I
worth it.
enjoyed it.
Totally
So.
worth it.
Right, I'm looking at yours now.
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, God knows what's going to be on there.
2011. Chillin' Pussy Lee Blow Low.
What?
Chillin' Pussy Lee Blow Low.
Wait, now I need to look at my own Twitter. Profile.
Never
Oh,
thought
was that?
there'd be a number of balls that would turn me off. Wouldn't you know? It's 7.
Ah, now can we? Now there's context. That makes sense.
Making no context. No context. Katie posts.
I know exactly who did Pussy the Blowlow, and I was meant to meet up with them on Friday and just didn't.
You retweeted Philip Schofield. Oh, problematic.
I I retweeted a lot of me dressed up as that
As
at
Philip
that
Schofield.
promo, that movie, at that film premiere.
Yeah, this is a lot of like retweeting. What he said.
That's kind of all I use it for.
Yeah.
How are you getting? Where did you get that first one?
I just kept scrolling until it went to the end.
Oh, well, that's stupid of me. Oh yeah, I knew it would be her.
This is always a fun game.
I am deleting those.
I'm deleting the whole thing. Oh,
I love that whoever took hold of my Twitter and posted that whole ball thing just hashtagged it fear orgy.
I automatically thought it was a video that you'd watched.
No.
I made zero connection that it might have been like a hack or a
Yeah.
whatever. So I've got something else here because no doubt Aaron's got nothing. Have you ever heard of the My Way killings?
My Way killings? No.
No.
Yep.
Maybe? No.
It's a social phenomena in the Philippines referred to a number of fatal disputes which has arose due to the singing of My Way by Frank Sinatra in karaoke bars. New York Times estimates the number of killings to be 12. Numerous people were getting killed for singing the song wrong.
But they did it their way.
Huh.
Attentions to the killings peaked in 2007 when a 29-year-old karaoke patron was shot dead by a bouncer as he was singing all the words wrong, and he refused to stop singing.
Does this mean that like at least 12 separate people have got so angry in the Philippines they're willing to commit murder about somebody singing My Way wrong?
Apparently, there's also, in air quotes, karaoke rage in other countries. A karaoke singer in Seattle was attacked by women who would not stop singing Coldplay's Yellow.
I can understand.
Man was arrested in Thailand for shooting 8 people to death in a dispute stemming from several karaoke offerings, and including repeated renditions of "Take Me Home, Country Roads." A fight in China over a karaoke parlor with a man killed 2 of his relatives with a meat cleaver.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a few. And I have one more for you, and then I think I'm going to fuck off because I'm tired.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of the friendship paradox?
No.
It's a phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
BNBN. So it's a phenomenon. I'm just a retard. Oh, sorry. Redacted.
Redacted.
I've been doing it. I've been saying it. First observed by sociologist Scott blah blah in 1991. On average, an individual's friends have more friends than the individual, and it can be explained as a form of a sampling bias in which people with more friends are likely to be in one's own friend groups. In other words, one is less likely to be friends with someone who has very few friends. In contradiction to this, most people believe they have more friends than their friends have.
Huh?
Does that make sense?
No, of course it doesn't. What are you talking about?
On average, an individual's friends
No,
have
don't
more
say it
friends
again.
than you, although you would believe that you have more friends than your friend. It's a paradox of how people network their friends.
So it's like me believing if I had 5 friends, and then I turn and look at Ben and I go, ha, Ben's only got one friend besides me. Is that?
But like, is that actually a thing?
Yes. And it's to do with the paradoxical nature of how you've. There's also like maths.
I was going to say, this feels like maths.
It's maths. It's also there's a lot of maths.
Oh.
It's called an undirected graph, where G equals V over E, where V is a set of vertices, E is the edges. It is I don't even know what fucking character that is. What character is that?
Wait, say that again.
They're all like the Greek letters.
Oh, okay.
If X is a friend of Y, then Y is a friend of X. The friendship between X and Y is therefore modelled by X, Y. Number of friends of an individual corresponds to the vertex degree. The average number of friends of a person's social network is then given by the average of the degree of the vertices in the graph. That is, vertex V has D parentheses V, edges touching it. If representing a person who has D vertices V friends, then average number U of friends of a random person in the graph is U equals. I don't even know half of these fucking. Yeah, it's all algebra now.
Huh.
It's like proper algebra.
I believe you, I just hate it.
Well, yeah. So basically, I have more friends than you. Fuck you guys.
But then would that not also mean that I would have more friends than you in your philosophy?
No, because you have to believe that you have more friends than your friends have. Or the paradox doesn't work.
But I'm me and you're you, so it would go both ways, no?
See, the real person who struggles here is Aaron, because he's only got 2 of us.
I've got.
And he's got the one other small friend.
Who? Who's your small friend?
The small friend. The compact one. The plod.
Ah. I thought that's who you
but
meant,
that's
but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Everyone has friends.
Fuck you, man.
Name all your friends. Name 3 songs.
Name 3 songs by your
all my
friends and
friends
we'll
are
believe
dead.
you.
I get by with a little
Friends, the
help
theme
from my
song.
friends. And
The Friends
can't-
theme song.
No, 'cause I
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
You can't wear your friends as a
I
t-shirt
didn't
if you
like
can't
Friends,
name 3
the TV
songs.
show. I thought it sucked.
No one did. They're
Yeah,
all
go on.
lying. Did anyone actually like Friends? Did anyone with a personality like Friends?
Yes.
Do you like Friends, Ben?
No, I don't have personality, so I can't answer that.
I
No, I used to watch it, and some of it was humorous, but like when you watch it without a laughter track, it is very problematic.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So I'm just still sitting on my Twitter episode briefly, and literally my last tweet was me bitching about Virgin Media being down and having to check Twitter about it.
Oh,
I was not
I have
lying.
a weird fact for you. Which country would you most
Ooh.
associate ice hockey with?
Canada.
Ben, don't fucking
Mm.
overthink it. Just fucking say it.
Just say Canada. Just do it. Just take the bait and say Canada.
Yeah, okay. So yeah,
Canada.
you would most commonly associate Canada with ice hockey. In the
Secondly would be America, and then thirdly, I'm going to say
okay,
China.
whatever. Fuck them guys. But in the NHL, did you know that Canada's only got the
What's the
National Hockey
NHL?
League?
Shut up, Ben.
Stop trying to be a cunt, you
Jesus
bastard.
Christ.
Yeah,
He doesn't have to try.
Canada has 7 teams.
A maple flag.
You're such a dick.
And America has 25.
I didn't hear how many Canada
Must
had
be
because Ben
was being an
said
asshole.
Maple Leaf.
Yeah, there's 32 teams in the NHL. Only 7 of them are Canadian, and the other 25 are American.
I assumed some would be Russian. I'll be honest. Not
Really?
now,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. I wonder what the Russian is. There Russian?
But who were the champions?
Queen. Did you not listen to the song?
We are the champions. Oh, that's another song about friends, isn't it?
Just because it says "my friends" in it.
Ooh, you're making me feel now, honey. You're my best friend.
Fuck's sake.
What led me onto that was I watched. I didn't watch. I saw something on Insta, and it was someone like when they was in school and they had to write about their best friend, and then they looked over at their best friend, wrote a really lovely paragraph about how much they mean to them, and then their friend got up and then started speaking of someone else's friend.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think it's about time.
Anyway.
Time of death.
What's your number fact?
Ben always keeps on ripping the number fact. Yeah, he keeps on ripping
I
the
thought you
number
weren't
fact.
doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, but
because I'm being a
we've got
cunt.
to have. There's certain constants in life, Ben, and you've sort of got to go with some of them.
And this
And
podcast
the
is
number
not one of
facts
them.
apparently is not a constant in this podcast.
No, you haven't been doing it from the start. It's
Yeah,
not constant. Did you also notice the name of this recording?
I don't have a name on my end.
Literally in the link that I sent you.
I can't see that
Okay.
now.
Well,
One second.
it doesn't matter.
I need to look.
I stopped putting numbers. Stopped putting numbers in there in case everyone was checking.
It's number 31. I know it's number 31.
Yeah, I thought you might have.
Are you sure?
Damn it. I'm sure it's 31. I'm a good 90%.
Why did you call it that?
Oh. Why call it
just-
anything?
It
Did it just
fucking
pop
well
into your
is.
head just that?
So,
Exactly.
shit.
31 is the age I'll be in a year and 2
Christopher,
days.
who is our listener for this month's podcast, this is episode number 31. And here are a couple of 31 number facts. Did you know that 31 is the 11th prime number? And the number 11 is also a prime number. Dun, dun, dun.
Good facts.
A lot of them are also shit. It also comes back around to goalkeepers in the game of ice hockey typically wear the number 31 on their jerseys. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, full circle. Nice.
So the Cyrillic alphabet is a bit larger than the English alphabet with 31 letters. Also, the Macedonian has 31. And Baskin Robbins is
That's so
known in
difficult.
Japan and other countries as 31 flavors.
Yeah, it's literally in the logo.
Not really.
Have you
I don't
noticed that?
pay much attention to Baskin Robbins, to be honest with you.
So the logo of Baskin Robbins is like BR, and there's a 3 in the B and a 1 in the R to indicate their 31 flavors, of which they now have more than 31.
Did you know that
I'm
there
fairly
is
sure.
7 months with 31 days?
Yes.
And they're both
Yes.
prime numbers. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they are kind of bad. On that note,
And there are... Ooh, here's a really, really
Hooroo?
good one. There's 1 billion seconds in 31 years.
How many seconds are in 31 days?
That would be something minutely smaller, something like 5,000 or something, isn't it?
So, something about smaller than a billion.
he was just ad-libbing until he could Google it.
It's 2.6 million seconds. And that's maths,
Nah.
Katie. That's maths.
I hate it. I
But
hate
there
it
we
so
go.
much.
Cool. Happy days.
Cool. All right, speak to you later. Oh wait, we're not doing that. It's a podcast, not a phone
Do we
call.
normally do an outro? I can't remember. Do we have an official outro? Ben?
No.
Yep, we always say bye.
Yeah, we need a bit more of a formal outro.
Bye.
Do you want to? How about for once you do something that isn't you booting up a Google fucking thefactsite.com numbers 31 facts
Yeah, you can be our official
that
outro.
you fucking read word for word, thing by thing. I'm literally looking at it going, I'm just going to go for a billion seconds next. I know I can feel it.
I'm just picking and choosing what I think is actually an interesting fact about the number 31.
You literally read 3 on the bounce. Don't lie to me.
Listen here, you son of a bitch.
Sussed.
That's all we have time for, folks.
That
In
was
this
so
round
good.
of Quarterlife Quandary.
That was such a
I've
good
been Aaron,
transatlantic accent.
Ben's been Ben, Katie's been Katie, and this has been our Quarterlife Quandary. I said the name of the podcast.
That's all, folks.
Bye-bye.